Are we robbing our children of their future? Is the education system actually making our children chronically unemployed? My name is Rebecca Comhendo, and in my final year at law school in the UK, I was given the opportunity to work as a school governor, and this was at Queen's Park Infant School in Bournemouth. The role of a school governor is to monitor school policies and critique any that are deemed inappropriate. I noticed while being a school governor that the UK continuously updated their school system to make sure it was relevant to the changing world. And this actually got me thinking, was the education system in Uganda adaptable and relevant to our changing world? Were our children competitive enough with the likes of Silicon Valley of today? In this episode, I'm going to show you how to prepare your child for success in our changing world of today. As a parent to Matthew and Hilda, my first instinct when they landed on my lap was to make sure they were successful when they grew older. And I'm sure this is every parent's ideal. In Uganda, a child's success is measured on the level of success they have in standardized tests. Parents' emphasis is to make sure their children are the best in standardized tests and will go to extra measures. For example, making sure the child attends remedial classes at 6 in the morning. Or you'll find parents picking their children up at 9 in the night. Why? Because they want to make sure their children cram these facts and are able to regurgitate that same information when they're given the tests. We have to face it. When a child, there's so many facts to cram. That's why they've got to make sure you teach these children continuously. Waking up a child at 6 to go and cram information, is that necessary? No. Making sure that the child goes to school over the weekend, is that necessary? No. Why? In this day and age, we have Google, we have Siri. So when you want any facts, just Google it, you'll get the facts. So you find that we are making our children still go with the education system that was used way before. However, I'll give you a brief background of standardized tests. Standardized tests were created on the notion of creating routine and efficiency during the Industrial Revolution. And because in things like in car making factories, people needed to be efficient. But thank God for innovation, machines and artificial intelligence have taken over most jobs. In this day and age, most jobs are going to become or have already become automated. Machines are assembling cars in factories. Robots are performing operations in operation theaters. So, in order to compete favorably with machines and beat them at their game, we need to enhance and concentrate on unique human intelligence. Number 1, self-awareness.
My name is Hakim Koa Mesasha.
Where do you come from?
I come from Togo. I am 5 years old now.
What is your name?
Liana George. I come from Canada.
For example, in the Toro culture, emphasizing empako. It's okay teaching our children how to embrace that. Making sure in the Baganda culture, kneeling down, embrace that. Making sure in the Bagisu culture, circumcision, embrace that. When children are aware of their strengths and weaknesses, then they are able to use their social skills effectively and make sure they are able to make choices that are consistent with the opportunities available to them. Number 2, self-esteem. Self-awareness has a ripple effect into self-esteem. Self-esteem is when children are aware of their weaknesses, are aware of the good and bad in themselves. And when people are aware of the good and bad in themselves, they are proud of how they look like, they are proud of where they come from, then they are able to interact well with others. And in this world, in this day and age, how the world is, it's all about interacting well, how you sell yourself well to the world. And if children are able to sell themselves to the world properly, then more opportunities will come to them. Number 3, assertiveness. We need to teach our children how to be assertive. Being assertive is when a child knows why and what they want, when they are able to express their feelings in a better way, whereby they are not forced to do things that are against their beliefs. For example, a child is able to say, you know what, I'm not doing that, and will give their expression or their feelings in a more calm way. Number 4, we need to also incorporate in our education system how children are to deal with emotion. Emotions such as anger, love, fear, disgust. These are all subjective emotions and sometimes will lead to actions that we regret in future. But when a child is able to deal with their emotion in a logical way, when they are faced with those emotions, then they are able to take better situations. Number 5, coping with stress. Stress is an inevitable part of life, whereby when a child, I'll give you an example, when a child loses a parent at a very early age, how does that child deal with that stress? Do we have psychologists in schools? Do we have social workers to explain to a child what is going on? If a child is aware on how to deal with that emotion of immense loss, then they are able to deal with more adverse situations that arise in that scenario. For example, you'll find if a child hasn't dealt with stress properly, with time, it will lead to depression, and then this becomes a mental health problem. Other things that we need to incorporate in our system. Empathy. Children need to be aware of how to put themselves in another person's shoes, whereby they'll know if I did this, this will hurt the other. And the older they get, they'll be able, if they take up big offices, they'll be able to use that empathy when doing their jobs. We need to also teach our children to resist peer pressure. Non-violent conflict resolution has also got to be incorporated into our education system. Effective communication. How do we talk to the next person without offending them or without being obnoxious? Critical and creative thinking are very important too in our education system today. Why? Because when we keep on cramming the facts in standardized tests, if we are not aware of how to think critically and think creatively, then we are unable to use the facts that children have crammed. In this day and age, if we incorporate all that together, I'm sure we'll be able to prepare our children for the ever-changing world of today. Thank you for lending me your ear and thank you for watching this video.